Welcome back to part 7 of the narrative of Mary Prince, our enslaved ancestor from Bermuda. In this part of the story, she's on the island of Antigua. If you haven't been, you should go. They have lovely people, and it's a beautiful island. I'll continue the story. Mr. Wood took me with him to Antigua, to the town of St. John's, where he lived. This was about 15 years ago. He did not then know whether I was to be sold, but Mrs. Woods found that I could work and she wanted to buy me. Her husband then wrote to my master to inquire whether I was to be sold. Mr. D wrote in reply that I should not be sold to anyone that would treat me ill. It was strange he should say this when he had treated me so ill himself. So I was purchased by Mr. Wood for $300. My work there was to attend to the chambers and nurse the child, and to go down to the pond and wash the clothes. But I soon fell ill of rheumatism and grew so very lame that I was forced to walk with a stick. I got the St. Anthony's fire also in my left leg and became quite disabled. No one cared much to come near me, and I was ill a long time, for several months. I could not lift the limb. I had to lie in a little old outhouse that was swarming with bugs and other vermin, which tormented me greatly. But I had no other place to lie in. I got the rheumatism by catching cold at the pond side from washing in the fresh water. In the salt water, I never got cold. The person who lived in the next yard, a Mrs. Green, could not bear to hear my cries and groans. She was kind and used to send an old enslaved woman to help me, who sometimes brought me a little soup. When the doctor found I was so ill, he said I must be put in a bath of hot water. The old enslaved woman got the bark of some bush that was good for the pains, which she boiled in the hot water, and every night she came and put me into the bath, and did what she could for me. I don't know what I should have done, or what would have become of me had it not been for her. My mistress, it is true, did send a little food, but no one from the family came near me but the cook, who used to shove my food in at the door and say, "Molly, Molly, there's your dinner." My mistress did not care to take any trouble about me, and if the Lord had not put it into the hearts of the neighbors to be kind to me, I really think, have lain and died. It was a long time before I got well enough to work in the house. Mrs. Woods in the meantime hired a mulatto woman to nurse the child, but she was such a fine lady. She wanted to be mistress over me. I thought it was very hard for a colored woman to have rule over me because I was enslaved and she was free. Her name was Martha Wilcox. She was a saucy woman, very saucy, and she went and complained of me without cause to my mistress and made her angry with me. Mrs. Woods told me that if I did not mind what I was about, she would get my master to strip me and give me 50 lashes. "You have been used to the whip," she said, "and you shall have it here." This was the first time she threatened to flog me, and she gave me the threatening so strong of what she would have done to me that I thought I should have fallen at her feet. I was so vexed and hurt about her words. The mulatto woman was rejoiced to have power to keep me down. She was constantly making mischief. There was no living for the enslaved, no peace after she came. I was also sent by Mrs. Woods to be put in the cage one night, and was next morning flogged by the magistrate's order at her desire. This was for a quarrel I had about a pig with another enslaved woman. I was flogged on my naked back on this occasion, although I was in no fault after all, for old Justice Diet, when we came before him, said that I was in the right and ordered the pig to be given to me. This was about 2 or 3 years after I came to Antigua. When we moved from the middle of the town to the point, I used to be in the house and do all the work and mind the children, though still very ill with rheumatism. Every week I'd I'd had to wash 2 large bundles of clothes, as much as a boy could help me to lift. But I could give no satisfaction. My mistress was always abusing and fretting after me. It is not possible to tell all her ill language. One day she followed me foot after foot, scolding and rating. I bore in silence a great deal of ill words, and at last my heart was quite full, and I told her that she ought not to use me so, that when I was ill I might have lain and died for what she cared, and no one would then come near to nurse me, because they were afraid of my mistress. This was a great affront. She called her husband and told him what I had said. He flew into a passion, but did not beat me then. He only abused and swore at me, and then gave me a note and bade me to go and look for an owner. Not that he meant to sell me, but he did this to please his wife and to frighten me. I went to Adam White, a copper, a free black man who had money, and asked him to buy me. He went directly to Mr. Wood, but he was informed that I was not to be sold. The next day, my master whipped me. Another time, about 5 years ago, my mistress got vexed with me because I fell sick and could not keep up with my work. She complained to her husband, and he sent me off again to look for an owner. I went to Mr. Burchell, showed him the note, and asked him to buy me for my own benefit, for I had saved about $100 and hoped, with a little help, to purchase my freedom. He accordingly went to my master. Mr. Wood, he said, Molly has brought me a note that she wants an owner. If you intend to sell her, I may as well buy her as another. My master put him off and said that he did not mean to sell me. I was very sorry at this, for I had no comfort with Mrs. Woods, and I wished greatly to get my freedom. I'll stop here. So there's a lot going on. It's less grueling work here, but she's obviously disabled and no one cares, and she's at the mercy of the world. And Prince is, we see the interaction with the mulatto woman, mixed race woman. We see the mistress lacking empathy and going off and being supported in her behavior by the husband. So there's a lot going on here, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I enjoy doing it. Thank you for listening.